My name is Amy Snyder. I'm 27 years old, and until recently, I lived with both my parents. For as long as I can remember, we were a family of three, inseparable on the surface, yet uneven beneath it. Growing up, my world revolved around my father. He was a man defined by discipline and perseverance, the kind who built a thriving business with his own hands. His work kept him away from home most days, but whenever he found even a sliver of free time, he spent it with me. On his rare days off, he made me his priority, in every way that mattered. He was an exceptional father. My mother, however, was different. She never worked a day outside the house. While she managed basic household affairs, she never supported my father's business or pursued ambitions of her own. We lived comfortably enough for her to spend her days socializing, attending gatherings, and maintaining appearances. Yet despite always being home, she felt distant, detached. There were many moments when loneliness wrapped itself around me, but my father always noticed. He understood my mother's indifference and made it his mission to ensure I never felt unloved or forgotten. As I grew older, the contrast between them became impossible to ignore. My mother made promises casually, and broke them just as easily. Over time, I learned not to place any weight on her words. My father, on the other hand, never promised what he couldn't deliver. His reliability shaped my values, and my admiration for him deepened. By the time I entered university, I had already decided, after graduation, I would join his company and carry forward the legacy he had built. As an only child, it felt natural, almost inevitable. In my early 20s, my father began sharing lessons with me during our quiet evenings out. Advice about business, about life. My mother remained largely uninvolved until the day I voiced my plans aloud. "Dad," I said excitedly, "I want to work at your company after I graduate. I'm already preparing for it. One day, I want to follow in your footsteps." My mother cut in sharply. "Amy, are you sure? A girl doesn't need to live like that." "Why not?" I asked. "I want to work hard, like Dad." She frowned. "A woman should marry well and let her husband take care of her." Her words drained the warmth from the room. I didn't argue further. I had no intention of living a life dependent on someone else, repeating the same hollow existence I'd watched her live. I wanted independence, purpose. From that day on, I poured myself into my studies, preparing to step into my father's world the moment I graduated. My mother never approved, but eventually, she stopped objecting. "If you insist on living this way," she said coldly, "don't blame me when it goes wrong." I joined my father's company, and with that choice, the distance between my mother and me grew wider. Meanwhile, my bond with my father deepened. Only later did I realize how much my mother resented that closeness. What I didn't know then was that my father was racing against time. He trained me relentlessly, teaching me every corner of the business. 6 months later, he collapsed at work and was rushed to the hospital. That was when the truth emerged. His health had been failing long before I ever knew. For 5 long years, he fought his illness. "How's the company doing without your father?" my mother asked one day, her concern laced with doubt. "It's difficult," I admitted, "but Dad prepared me. Everyone is supporting me." She scoffed. "Just don't ruin it. Second generations usually do." Her lack of faith cut deeply. During my father's illness, our arguments became frequent, even weakened. He insisted on visiting the company whenever he could. "These people are my life's work," he told me quietly, "and now I have to let go. Amy, I trust you to protect them." "I'll do my best, Dad," I promised. "I may never be you, but I won't let you down." From that moment on, the responsibility became mine. My days blurred into endless work and hospital visits. I rarely went home. My mother did the bare minimum, dropping off clothes, sighing as if even that was a burden. I couldn't understand her indifference. Had she never cared for him at all? A year later, my father passed away peacefully in his sleep. I barely had time to mourn. Funeral arrangements, hospital paperwork, endless responsibilities, all fell onto me. My mother expected it, as if it were my duty. The day after the funeral, she finally spoke. "Amy," she said flatly, "now that everything's done, you should move out." Then she added, without hesitation, "I've inherited 200 million yen. I don't need you anymore." I wasn't surprised. Still, The words stung. The next day, I left. I sold everything that belonged to me and moved out without looking back. What my mother didn't know was this. My father had left everything to me. Every account, every asset. You can give your mother a monthly allowance, he'd told me once, half joking, but never give her a lump sum. She'll waste it. If she complains, give her nothing. Before he passed, he handed me an SD card. A message for your mother, he said softly. I never thought I'd use it. Until my phone rang. Come home immediately, my mother snapped. I'm working, I replied. What is it? Just come, now. When I arrived, she didn't waste a second. You took all your father's money, she accused. Hand it over, now. I said nothing. I simply took out the SD card and placed it in her hand. She stared at it, confused. What is this? She asked. And for the first time, I remained silent. I said quietly, masking my disappointment. I retrieved my laptop, inserted the SD card, and pressed play. The screen flickered to life, and my father appeared, just as vibrant and familiar as he had always been. Seeing him again made my chest tighten. I couldn't help but wonder how my mother would react to the video letter he had left behind. Without a word, I stepped out of the room, leaving her alone with the screen. I had never seen my mother defy my father while he was alive, but now that he was gone, would his words still reach her? When I returned, the sight before me stopped me cold. My mother was crying. Her composure was gone, her emotions exposed in a way I had never witnessed before. I stood there in stunned silence. I had never seen her shed tears for my father, not openly. Not like this. Curiosity stirred inside me, but I hesitated to watch the video myself. I had no idea what he had said to her, only that it had clearly shaken her. Mom, are you okay? I asked softly. She wiped her tears and nodded. Yes, I'll be fine. I understand now. I'll follow your father's wishes and leave everything to you. Please go home for today. Call me once you've had time to calm yourself. Sensing that she needed space, I left without further questions. As I walked home, my mind raced. What could my father possibly have said to quiet my mother so completely? Almost a month passed without any word from her. Worry began to gnaw at me, and during my lunch break one day, I decided to stop by the house. She wasn't home. When I returned that evening and saw the lights on, relief washed over me. I'm sorry for stopping by without warning, I said. I came earlier and didn't find you. I was worried. She looked apologetic. I'm sorry. I was out working my part-time job. A part-time job? I repeated, stunned. My mother, who had always rejected the idea of working, now had a job. Didn't you watch the video? I asked. That letter wasn't meant just for me. It was for you too. You should take it with you, she said quietly. You deserve to see it. May I watch it now? I asked, holding out the SD card. She hesitated, then nodded and handed it back. Later that night, alone in my office, I sat at my father's old desk. My hands trembled slightly as I inserted the SD card and pressed play. Honey, my father began, his voice calm and warm. If you're watching this, it means you weren't able to talk things through with Amy. First, thank you for helping me raise her all these years. I could never have managed the company while raising her alone. As he continued, an uneasy feeling settled in my chest. Then he said something that shattered everything I thought I knew. You raised Amy even though she isn't your child. For that, I'm endlessly grateful. My breath caught. She stood by my side for all these years, and in doing so, you gave up your own dreams. You never built a life of your own. That responsibility is mine. I allowed you to live comfortably, knowing one day you might struggle after I'm gone. She's not my real mother, I whispered, stunned. And suddenly, everything made sense. Her emotional distance, her restraint, yet also her consistency, feeding me, clothing me, caring for me every single day. She had done all of that, for a child who wasn't hers. I never registered our marriage because you asked me not to. You said you felt guilty toward your sister, so I supported you quietly instead. But I worry about your future. I'm afraid you'll be left with nothing once I'm gone. I sat there long into the night, replaying his words over and over. The next day, I confronted my mother. I watched Dad's video. I said, I know everything now. She exhaled slowly. I raised you because I promised I would. What happened to my biological mother? I asked. She looked down. She was my sister. She died right after giving birth to you. Your father begged me to help him. I promised I would become your mother. The truth settled into place like the final piece of a puzzle. I remembered her younger days, working at a diner, full of energy. She had once dreamed of owning one herself, but she abandoned that dream to raise me. Inspired by my father's words, she decided to reclaim it. Now, she was training as a part-time worker, preparing to open her own diner. I should have done this sooner, she said with a faint smile. Working suits me. It's fun. I'm sorry, I said quietly. I didn't know you gave up so much because of me. It wasn't your fault, she replied. I chose this. I just wasn't good at showing affection. For the first time, we spoke honestly, like equals. We used part of my father's inheritance to help her open the diner. She insisted on covering her living expenses herself, refusing my help. Promise me you'll tell me if you're struggling, I said. Dad trusted me to look after you. I will, she replied, but for the diner, I'll need your help. Of course, I said. I'm looking forward to it. Little by little, we became a real family. The day before her diner opened, I watched her prepare with pride. Seeing you work so hard reminded me of who I used to be, she said. I owe this courage to you and your father. Promise me, she said softly, that you'll always let me be your mom. I smiled. From now on, let's be closer than ever. We only have each other. We later visited the graves of my father and my biological mother, her sister, to tell them how we were doing. After completing the adoption process, I was officially registered as her daughter. Blood hadn't made us a family. Choice had. And this time, it was real.